Hi, welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. Today we're going to be talking about the third Ninja Turtle movie. This is my review of the plot and characters in the movie, which starts off with the turtles at home. Everything's okay, but Raph has one of his little fits. Normal, he's got to have a tantrum per movie, right? So he has his fit, throws his sign to a radio, and storms off. April comes down with gifts. One of the gifts she called a Japanese egg timer, and she's going to give it to Splinter. While she's looking at it, it goes off, and it replaces her with a warrior from the past, actually a prince, Kenshin. And Kenshin is now stuck in our time, while April's all the way back in feudal Japan. The turtles have to go back in time to save her. This makes for a different storyline than we're used to, and their villains is not the Foot Clan. This, to me, made the movie a lot more interesting. We have the comic books, the cartoons, the original first two movies. Even the Coming Out of Their Shells tour has Shredder in it. And as awesome as it is to see Shredder get beat up by the turtles, because, hey, it is fun. It is also annoying that so many stories focuses on it to where it becomes the same little dance around of, ooh, the foot, ooh, we're going to take them down. So, getting a new villain for the third Turtle movie, in my eyes, was a wise choice. It gave us a new direction to take the Turtles. Taking them into the past and going and fighting all the samurai. It was fun. It was different. It was a new thing for people who like different stuff to enjoy. I've heard people complain about Shredder not being on the movie, but is it really so bad? One of my biggest problems with the third Turtle movie is the extra jokes thrown in. As much as I like comedy, I like them when they belong. Like, I don't feel like the Addams Family joke belonged. I don't feel like lines like, it's not just a job, it's an adventure, belonged. What was wrong with this to me is Donatello was trying to take the role of the comic relief since Michelangelo was not playing it. So they were trying to shift the comedy onto a different turtle. It doesn't work that way. Don's not the comic relief. He is the thinker. He's got a little bit of a comedy side, but he usually follows Mike when Mike's in the lead doing the comedy. Pork rind, pork rind. It's all part of who they were. When Don's being funny or goofing off like that, where he's making these random jokes inside Turtle Street, it just felt out of place. And to me, that kind of threw the vibe of the movie. When I go through the script, those jokes aren't here. One of the scenes inside the script that was cut is where Michelangelo is being scalded by Leo. And the line wasn't cut, just the way the scene was played was messed with. And the line was given to Raph. But Leo turns around and gets after Mike for hitting on Mistu, saying, remember, you're a turtle. And Mike's the one that's supposed to say, oh, thanks for pointing that out, Leo. That explains the large shell on my back. That was supposed to be a Mike line, but they felt it would be more with Raph, so threw it in earlier in the movie where they're sneaking into Lord Norinaga's base. But right here, I enjoyed reading the script where Mike's actually got a little bit more of a bite back towards the others about how he feels about Mistu, which I enjoyed. I think that they could have played on that, they could have worked with that. They just went in their own direction instead. What I really liked about this movie was the character growth. I liked that each of the characters had a part in the movie. Don had his trying to find a way back. Leonardo had his search and keeping the group together and leading through the fights. Raph had Yoshi, where he realized this kid with a temper and tried to help out. And then there's Mike. Mike, for the first time, had a real storyline. He wasn't just there. Mike had Mistu, and that meant a lot to him. Oh, did he like Mistu. It was like, oh well, she's hot, I like her, she knows I'm a turtle, she's not running away, can I stay? That was just more of a fun interaction, bringing him a more serious storyline. Then we have April. April, never a favorite character. This movie remained at that point where I was not a fan of April. How long has she known the Turtles now? Why hasn't she learned to defend herself yet? Why is she standing there like, oh, I'm a victim, I'm not gonna really... She should be doing a bit more. The villains in this movie were definitely interesting to me because I enjoyed the fact that we had to relearn who these villains were. We didn't know right away what the storyline was. So I like that they brought in the fact that the English traded guns with the Japanese, because at this time we're going through the weapons where things were definitely switching up, and the villagers couldn't afford guns. So we have Walker coming in and trying to sell his merchandise, and he doesn't care how he sells it as long as he gets his money for it, even if it means backstabbing the person who he's trying to sell it to, or using things to get him to work with him. So Walker just automatically took in this interest of characters, and he's got his little crew with him. And Niles was one of the ones that definitely stood out because we all saw him throughout the full movie. And then learning at the end of the movie that Wit was one of his workers. It was understandable because that's where Wit came from. And I understand why April thought Wit looked like Casey, seeing as how it was the same actor. And then there's Lord Norinaga. This guy thinks he's doing right, thinks he's doing everything that the way he's supposed to. As a warlord, this is his job, this is how he was raised to do it, and these rebels are getting in his way. So he's going to take them out. And didn't matter what it took. At first he's all happy because they have their scepter, and that's going to make it so they are guaranteed to win. But when that goes missing, he starts to question himself. He's very skeptical, which made it easier for them to push things out. What I'm curious about though is the scroll. We have these other turtles. These drawings of turtles from before the turtles showed up. These Kappa that don't look like normal Kappa, they look like the Ninja Turtles. What is that story? They left us an open story where someone could have written a book, someone could have done an episode in the original cartoon series about it. Something could have been done, but nothing was. Basically, when it comes down to it, Turtles 3 is a packed movie with adventure, we have our fight scenes, comedy, if we want it or not, romance, if we want it or not, and the guys, the Turtles. We have them. That's something I enjoy. We have all 4 turtles with their own scenes. Each of them played a big role in the movie, and it just made an impact in showing that there's different stories we can see with the Turtles. I know Turtles 3 was not a perfect movie. I know there was problems. I mean, we had our Froggy Turtles, and costume-wise, we had our Donnie doing jokes. We had different little things that was just put in there that wasn't needed. But no movie is perfect. I do know that I enjoyed Turtles 3. I saw it over 20 times in the movie theater as a kid. And I know other kids who enjoyed Turtles 3 at the time. So it's not like this movie was plagued. It's not like, you know, I hear everyone going how Turtles 3 was the worst turtle movie. Yeah, at the time it wasn't the best because we just had Jim Henson handle the first 2 movies, and his work is just wow. And then we have all effects come in and try to handle it. But if everyone just went after visuals, if visuals really meant that much, can someone please tell me how half the cartoons on the air these days actually still run on the air? Please feel free to do video blogs about Turtles 3. And if you want, please connect it to here just by sending it as a video reply. As long as it is not bashing the movie and actually being constructive on why you're saying what you're saying, I will connect it to this blog.